From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way up to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Happy holidays from Weather NorCal and our sponsors. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Well, happy Friday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining me here in Weather NorCal. By the way, if you are new to Weather NorCal, number one, welcome. Number two, I've got a free Weather NorCal app. What's beautiful about this app is that it's hyper-local. It's all about Northern California, and that's what Weather NorCal is all about. It's about you, for those of you that live here in NorCal, and we just give you all the details that you need. And the app has it all here. You can watch the video forecast, a 24-hour streaming channel. You can check out the latest neighborhood forecast, radar, current temperatures, the works. You can share your photos from the free Weather NorCal app. Just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, and you are rocking and rolling with that Weather NorCal app. Here's some of the rainfall totals over the last 2 days. You can see over 1.5 inches in some spots here for the valley. Not quite as much in Chico, but still very impressive. 8,400 south there. Willows, about 1.1 inches. And of course, over 1.5 inches for Crescent City, as well as Hoopa. About 1 inch in Eureka. Weaverville, 6,600. Look at Hayfork, 1.33. We'll certainly take that. And we've got a lot more rain on the way. By the way, too, you'll notice we're just not seeing as much off to the north and east. All right, so before we get to Krueger's Quickcast, for those of you that are waiting, just want to let you know what we're watching here so you know what you're missing if you don't watch the entire forecast. Because number one, we've got moderate to heavy rainfall at times. This could bring us the potential for flooding, mudslides, debris flows. We've got periods of heavy snow with possible I-5 delays, maybe even closures on I-5. It's going to be a heavy snow event, especially today and tonight. Snow levels could drop as low as 2,500 feet, but somewhere between that and 4,500 feet. And the winds, too. We got some strong winds that are coming in as early as this morning, but through the day today, tonight, and even into tomorrow morning. We're talking the potential for power outages with winds as strong as they'll be, which could be 40, 50, even 60 miles an hour. All right, so here's a look at Krueger's Quickcast. Just a quick look at the forecast here for the day today. I'll get as quick as I can because there's still a lot to talk about even during our quick forecast. So I just want to highlight some of the things and elements we're tracking here, and that is the potential for flooding. You can see down towards southern Humboldt County, the National Weather Service has issued a flood advisory. We also have winter storm warnings for the areas in pink and a winter weather advisory for southern Humboldt County. There's another element we got to track is the snow, right? And of course the wind. We've got a high wind warning for central Siskiyou County, and the areas in blue here is where we have a wind advisory. Gust 40, 50, even upwards of 60 miles per hour. And winds that strong could create problems as far as power outages. Also, not related to the rain, but because we have high astronomical tides along the coast, you know if you live in this area where the typical spots that see flooding during these events. That's essentially what we've got going on here. That's through 11 o'clock this morning. So just be aware of that if you live on the coast. All right, so here's what we can expect heading out the door this morning. That wet weather. Everyone's dealing with rain or snow, depending on your elevation. That's going to be the story here for today. And many of us seeing that steady rain. So here's storm system number 2. It's not here yet, right? But we're beginning to see the leading edge of that rain come in. We've got this nice stream of moisture right here. All of that moisture heading right into Northern California. That's the source, the moisture source that we're beginning with this storm system. So 6 a.m., not very heavy in the valley just yet, but then we take you through the morning hours. Let's take you to about 9, 8, 10 a.m. We'll take you about noon. There you can see, actually seeing a bit of a break. We're seeing some shadowing, if you will. But however, the main stream of moisture, that thin column of moisture, is actually to the north and west of the valley. That's why we're not seeing as much rain there. And that's why we're seeing the heavier rain and snow. Look at that, the blue indicating heavy snow in the mountains. That's at noon today. As we take you through the afternoon, we'll take it about 5 o'clock, we start to see it fill in a little bit more in the valley, but once again, steady rain is a very good possibility. It just may not be as heavy as some other areas. But by the time we get into tonight, look at that. That rain is really starting to kind of kick in for the valley, and of course heavy snow in many of the higher elevations as well. Here you can see some of the chain requirements. Looks like we're all clear on I-5. You can see on Highway 3 between between Douglas City and then of course south of Hayfork, we're seeing some of those chain requirements. I'll take you back to that map here. And then of course we've got a lot of chain requirements east of I-5. It looks like no chain requirements though on Cedar Pass at this point. All right, let's take a look at the forecast road conditions, and you can see let's just put some of the more popular mountain passes in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to advance through time here. What you'll notice here, we got a lot of pink and reds. That's, for all intents and purposes, kind of that borderline where we're seeing that rain, where we're seeing that snow and rain-snow mix. But we could be looking at the potential of accumulating snow on I-5. Doesn't look to be as bad on Buckhorn Summit based on this model here. And then we go to 3 a.m. on Saturday, still looking at that snow. And look at this, it's getting a little bit more intense on Buckhorn Summit, and of course, plenty of the activity off to the east. And we also take a look at the forecast winds. Right, we're talking about that wind advisory. Very strong this morning in the noon hour, picking up here for the valley. Central Siskiyou County, Shasta Valley, very strong winds. High profile vehicles, not recommended. By the way, for today, the winds are so strong even up in Siskiyou County. If you're heading out to the ski park, do be aware of the fact they may have to close the park down because when they have these wind events, it's not safe to be on the ski lifts. So you need to check with the ski park before heading up there this morning or at any time of the day you're going, because they will close it down during these high wind events. 6 a.m. on Saturday, there you can see the gusty winds here for the valley. And then, of course, those winds should subside as we go into Saturday afternoon and then even going into Sunday. All right, so there you can see here the temperatures here for the valley, low 50s. We've got 30s, 40s for the higher elevations, and it looks like we're looking at those temperatures in the low to mid 50s out along the coast. All right, let's take a quick look at your 7-day outlook. Bottom line is this: dry on Sunday, and then we're drying out again Tuesday through the end of next week. Same situation for everyone else. The coast, inland, Trinity County, dry on Sunday, and then more wet weather Monday before drying out again Tuesday. And that's also the same situation for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. All right, that is your quick cast, as quick as I could get it. Now we go into your deeper dive. But before we get to that, I do want to remind you, as the storm passes, there are going to be a lot of things to take pictures of, and you'll probably will take pictures of those. Do me a favor. Take some of your favorite storm photos and send them from the free Weather NorCal app I was just telling you about, and we could share them. We could share them on this morning Weathercast, and of course on Coffee with Krueger at 7 a.m. So here's the storm timeline. Friday, I've bumped it up to a high impact, and here's the reason why. Because we're looking at that steady rain is going to just be piling up here through the day today. There could be I-5 delays and possible closure with high winds, possible power outages, the works. Very strong winds today. I do, however, expect the heaviest rain and snow to be tonight and early tomorrow morning. So the biggest impact is Friday night, Saturday morning, with improving conditions on Saturday, but still a chance for scattered showers, a chance for snow flurries in the afternoon, and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm for the valley westward. Sunday, I was talking about that break. Yeah, mostly dry, mostly sunny that is, and mainly dry on Sunday. And storm number 3, much weaker, but it is going to bring us more rain and more snow. There could be some more travel delays, but not quite the impact that we're going to see here today and tonight. So there's today and tonight's storm system. You've got all of this moisture right here. That is just plentiful moisture coming in. But there's storm system number 2, storm system number 3. Once storm system number 3 moves through, we've got high pressure building in and we'll dry things out. And there's a break on Sunday, by the way. So I'm going to say the word and the phrase that a lot of you hate, but I got to use it because it's a way to help explain what's going on. And that is, I was mentioning yesterday that it's not necessarily an atmospheric river, but I'm beginning to see signs now that it kind of is. And here's why. We don't have, you see how this is kind of where we're seeing most of the moisture. We don't have that big line that we typically see. However, we did, now that that trough is digging to the south, it's kind of breaking it, cutting it off a little bit from that flow, but there still is plenty of moisture coming from that. So this would be considered a weak to moderate atmospheric river. Okay, then we go into Saturday afternoon, that's starting to kind of shift to the south, no longer an issue. We see that break Saturday night and Sunday. And then look at this, another weak atmospheric river heading into Monday, giving us the moisture that we need. Now this one's weaker. I don't expect as much rain and snow out of this storm system. The wind's probably not as strong, but we're still seeing that rain on Monday. Now I just want to show you here, all of this moisture is staying to our west here through the rest of next week. That's because high pressure is in place, so that's why we expect those dry conditions. However, by the end of next week into that next weekend, we may be able to push through that ridge, and we could be looking at the potential for maybe some more rain by then. So we look at the atmospheric river impact. A lot of people don't realize when we talk about atmospheric rivers, it's not a scare tactic. It's not a way to get clicks on social media. It's a way to help explain what's happening with our weather. And atmospheric rivers, essentially what we're looking at here is a thin column of moisture. Depending on where that's aimed, if it's aimed right at us, then we got a bit of a problem. So you see these little spikes right here? That's indicating anywhere from an AR1, which is a very weak one, to an AR5, which is exceptionally high. Danger, right? We got a lot of rainfall. But we're in the lower scale of that, right? We are kind of somewhere within the AR1 to AR2 here for today and tonight. Then we see it drop down to nothing, right? Because Sunday's the break. But look at Monday. Again, see how I was talking about as weaker? You can see here we're in that weak category AR1 for Monday. And then, of course, after that, we dry things out. We're no longer looking at that. So again, atmospheric river, I know a lot of you hate that term. I don't like it either. I don't like all these fancy terms, but as long as we all know what that means, and as long as we all know that not all atmospheric rivers are the same. Because if we were dealing with an AR5, oh man, it would be a problem, right? So a weak atmospheric river. We have to remember there are different categories of atmospheric rivers. So when you're on social media and people are talking about atmospheric rivers, oh, atmospheric river heading our way, remember, you need to know the category. How strong is that atmospheric river? Okay, so with all of that said, here's the reason why we still call it an atmospheric river, because we're seeing a lot of rainfall. And you can see here the yellow and green indicating marginal to slight risk of floods, flash flooding. That's for the valley, parts of the valley, and of course the mountains, and for Humboldt and Del Norte counties. Now tomorrow, in the morning we've got the heavy rainfall, but by tomorrow afternoon it's gone. And that's why we're not going to see as much of that potential. All right, so let's get you right to it. What's going on? What's the timing of all this? So this morning, it's fairly dry off to the east. We're still going to be waiting for the storm at this point. By the time we get into the morning hours, you see what's happening. You see it's pushing eastward by 9 a.m. The morning hours, heavy rainfall, moderate to heavy rainfall, steady too for the valley. Snow in the mountains. I-5 delays. Could we see chain recurrence on I-5? You bet it could happen. Keep in mind the winds are picking up at this point too. All right, look at the Highway 299 though. Doesn't look like Buckhorn Summit's impacted a whole lot. That being said, I want you to check the latest road conditions. We'll get into that here in a second. But here you can see noon today. You see what's happening is breaking apart. That's because, so the definition of an atmospheric river is a thin column of moisture, right? That's being transported by the winds. There's the thin column of moisture. It's mainly aimed right here. Now, of course, we've got some kind of behind that or on the south end of that, but you see how we're not seeing as much rain for many of us in the valley. That begins to fill in a little bit this afternoon as it pushes eastward. We're still seeing snow in the mountains. But look at this. At 6 p.m., we may see the snow levels rise a little bit. At least that's what Futurecast is indicating here. Because you'll see here this column of I-5, it's not snow. It's actually in the form of rain. Now, this could be a good thing for travel, obviously, because then we're not looking at as much snow. But certainly something worth watching and monitoring here very closely. And of course, you've got the snow off to the east. Now look at this tonight. Remember I was talking about the heavier rainfall for the valley is tonight? There it is. And then of course, look at the snow. The darker shades of blue, that is heavy snow, my friends. So by tonight and tomorrow morning, it's going to be a lot of snow most likely up there in Mount Shasta itself, the city, and of course on the ski park and on the highway, unfortunately. There's 3 a.m. on Saturday, still seeing the snow, but see how it's breaking apart now. One last push of this heavier rain and plenty of moisture here for early Saturday morning. Heavy snow again Saturday morning, even off to the east, to the west. Buckhorn Summit, I think there'll be problems Saturday morning. But look at this. We're seeing the snow still very heavy to the east. Showers for the valley, but clearing behind that. But don't let that fool you, because we still have these disturbances that will be pushing through, scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, and with the clearing skies in the first half of the day for the valley, this could set the stage for the potential for isolated thunderstorms in the valley for Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, we're seeing snow flurries through the day on Saturday in the higher elevations, drying out for the most part by Saturday evening, maybe some leftover moisture tomorrow night for Del Norte County. And then, yes, a sigh of relief. We're getting a break on Sunday, but look at this. There's Monday's system, the very beginning phases of that coming in on Monday. So, you know, the Storm Prediction Center is saying, hey, you know what? We could really get the potential for thunderstorms here, both today and even tomorrow. And quite honestly, I think it should be pushed a little bit more to the east over the valley as well, because I think we could see that here even for tomorrow. So forecast rainfall totals, I mean, I think we could see over 2 inches of rain easily for parts of the valley. It really does depend on where exactly that atmospheric river is pointed, but you can see heavier rainfall is expected, as we typically see here for the coast. All right, forecast snow totals, I think it's doing a pretty good representation here for Mount Shasta City. On top of what we've already seen, maybe upwards of, I think we could see 12 to even upwards of maybe 24 inches of snow there. Dunsmuir less. We could even see some light accumulating snow out in Bernie, heavier out in Chester, maybe some light accumulations of snow in Alturas and Etna, and Susanville, maybe 4 to 8 inches of snow there. And it's showing some snow, by the way, as you saw there, let's take you back. Let it go through the time lapse again here, or the timing. It is showing some light accumulation. Sometimes when you get that really heavy snow, it can come down even in the warmer areas, and we tend to maybe see some snow. So it's not out of the question. During now through Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, maybe some snowflakes for Hayfork and Weaverville. We'll see. Something that's going to be fun to watch if it happens. Chain requirements, yeah, we're mainly west of I-5, east of I-5. I-5 is all clear at this point, but again, that's all going to change here. Let's take a look at the forecast road conditions here. And what we're seeing here is, yes, the potential for some snow on I-5, Highway 89. Look at Buckhorn Summit here through today. Shouldn't be that bad. There's Buckhorn Summit right here, okay? So it doesn't look to be all that bad. But look at this as we go into tonight and tomorrow morning. Now Buckhorn Summit is getting caught in that. Look at Oregon Mountain. Look at I-5 near Mount Shasta Weed, Highway 89. Of course, plenty of activity east of I-5. And on Highway 36 West, yeah, you're going to be dealing with chain requirements. They're already seeing them now, so there's no reason why you won't see it through the rest of this event. By the way, I can show you the forecast chain requirements or road conditions, but they change dramatically whenever you're out there driving. So I want you to do this. Bookmark it too. Go to weathernorcal.com. You see this right here, it says road conditions. Click on that image right there. It's a one-stop shop for everything you need when it comes to road conditions. Of course, you've got the chain requirements, a link to Caltrans chain requirements, quick map, right? And then, of course, below that, you will see a one-stop shop. I've got all of the images of Caltrans cameras, some of the more popular mountain passes, and you'll be able to see at a quick glance what's going on with the roads out there. Check it out, weathernorcal.com. Click on that road section. I think you're really going to like what you see there. And by the way, you can get that from the app. There is same thing here, road conditions on the Weather NorCal app. Same thing. You can look at those road conditions at a quick glance. Look at the amount of snow we're expecting out at the ski park. Ah, isn't that a beautiful sight? Taking a look at the ski report here for your Friday. As of last night, 48 inches out at the summit here. And there you can see some of the other mountain ski parks there as well. 95% of the Mount Shasta Ski Park is open. Isn't that just great? Great to see that. I love to see the local ski park really begin to flourish here this time of the year. All right, look at the winds. Yeah, by noon today, especially out towards central Siskiyou County, out along the coast, very strong winds. We're starting to see the winds pick up here for the valley at 5 p.m. today. By tonight, though, still, even into tomorrow morning, we're still seeing that heavy gusty winds. Winds not as strong off to the west. And then finally, by Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, those winds are dying down. It's going to be much calmer winds on Sunday as well. So the main wind event will be today, tonight, and early tomorrow morning. There is a coastal flood warning for the coast. You know, if you live in this area, where those typical spots are going to be. It's not because of the rain. It's because of the high astronomical tides. All right, let's take a look at the wave heights here for today. There you can see, we're kind of see them inch a little bit higher here for tonight and into tomorrow. As a result, We do have, of course, those south winds at about 25 to 35 knots, waves from the south at 2 feet at 9 seconds, and from the west at 14 feet at about 12 seconds. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast here. Starting off with Trinity County, you've got temperatures mainly in the 40s. Sunday, a break. Tuesday through the end of next week, we're finally dry again. 54 degrees out in Fortuna, as well as Blue Lake. Looks like 53 in Garberville, 50 for Alder Point. We take you up north with 51 out towards Gas Key, 55 for Smith River, and 48 degrees in Hoopa. All right, let's take you out to Siskiyou County with 42 degrees in Fort Jones, 41 for Etna, Happy Camp about 45, and Mount Shasta City, cool today, only getting a high of about 37. There you can see Tule Lake about 40. 40 degrees for Alturas, 38 degrees for Cedarville, basically upper 30s to about 40 in Modoc County. In the Eastern Mountains, anywhere from the 30s to 40s for your daytime highs today. 37 degrees for Viola, 47 though out in Paradise. In your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. We got those temperatures just kind of hovering around 50 degrees. There's that break on Sunday and then drying out again Tuesday through the rest of next week. 49 in Whiskeytown, 50 in the city of Shasta Lake, 52 degrees for Cottonwood. And looking at your 7-day outlook for Redding, there are the showers. Now, the rain will be heaviest today and tonight, especially tonight and early tomorrow morning. And then look at that. We're going to see some breaks in the clouds, maybe some isolated thunderstorms on Saturday. Sunday, we're dry. One last storm system number 3 on Monday, giving us the showers, not as heavy, not as strong. And then we're dry for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, thank you so much for watching. That's your morning update. I'll be back again this afternoon. Until then, have a great morning.
Caltrans is doing the best that they can with the amount of people and the amount of equipment they have, and they're out there trying to keep the roads safe and trying to keep everybody running, because if the roads shut down, truck drivers that are paid by the miles aren't making any money. So we want everybody to put chains on for the safety of themselves and the safety of the public. It's not worth it to drive without chains.